Somewhere in a vault at Yale University, there is a book that no one has ever been able to read. It is over 600 years old. It contains 240 pages of text, illustrations, and diagrams. It has been studied by professional codebreakers, linguists, cryptographers, and artificial intelligence systems. Not one of them has deciphered a single word. The book has its own alphabet, 25 to 30 characters that appear nowhere else in recorded history. Its language follows consistent grammatical patterns, which means it isn't random. Someone wrote it deliberately. Someone knew exactly what it said. That person has been dead for centuries, and they took the meaning with them. This is the Voynich Manuscript, and the deeper you look at it, the stranger it gets. The manuscript was named after Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish book dealer who acquired it in 1912 from a Jesuit college in Italy. He recognized immediately that it was unusual and spent the rest of his life trying to find someone who could decode it. Nobody could. Carbon dating has placed the vellum, the treated animal skin the pages are made from between 1404 and 1438. That makes it a genuine medieval document, not a modern forgery. The illustrations are unlike anything in any known medieval text. There are drawings of plants that don't match any identified species, diagrams of astronomical systems that don't correspond to any known cosmology, elaborate illustrations of naked figures bathing in green liquid connected by an intricate network of tubes and pools. Nobody knows what any of it means. The book passed through the hands of Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, several alchemists, and at least one Jesuit scholar before disappearing for centuries, only to resurface in that Italian college, waiting for Wilfrid Voynich to find it. What makes the Voynich manuscript genuinely unsettling beyond the strange illustrations is the nature of the writing itself. Linguists who have analyzed the text have found that it follows something called Zipf's law, a statistical pattern present in all known human languages, where a small number of words appear very frequently and most words appear rarely. The Voynich text follows this pattern precisely. It also has consistent word lengths, repeating grammatical structures, and what appear to be prefixes and suffixes, the building blocks of real language. In other words, it behaves like a language. It just isn't one anyone has ever seen. During World War II, some of the world's greatest code breakers, the same people who cracked Nazi encryption, were given access to the manuscript. They failed. In 2017, a team trained in artificial intelligence on every known language and script in human history, then ran it against the Voynich text. The AI suggested the manuscript might be written in Hebrew using a complex encoding method. Researchers following that lead translated a few words. They didn't match the illustrations. The theory was abandoned. Every breakthrough has led to a dead end. Every solution has created more questions. Over the past century, researchers have proposed dozens of explanations for what the Voynich manuscript actually is. The most widely held theory among scholars is that it is an encrypted herbal or medical text, a physician's reference written in a private cipher to protect valuable knowledge from rivals or religious authorities. In medieval Europe, certain medical and alchemical practices were dangerous to document openly. A second theory suggests it is a constructed language, an entirely invented system of communication created by its author, the way J.R.R. Tolkien created Elvish. If that's true, it may simply be undecipherable because no one else ever learned it. A third theory, proposed seriously by several researchers, is that the manuscript is an elaborate hoax, that someone in the 15th century created a convincing fake book of arcane knowledge, complete with invented script and bizarre illustrations, either to sell it or to impress a patron. But hoax theorists struggle to explain one thing: who would spend years producing 240 pages of meticulously consistent fake language, and why? And then there are the theories at the edge of the conversation, that the manuscript describes a lost civilization, that it was written by Roger Bacon, the 13th century friar and proto-scientist, who was rumored to possess knowledge far beyond his time, that it originated somewhere outside Europe entirely. None of these have been proven. None have been fully disproven. The manuscript simply sits in its vault at Yale, patient, silent, and completely indifferent to the centuries of effort spent trying to understand it. In 2019, a British academic named Gerard Cheshire published a paper claiming he had finally decoded the Voynich Manuscript in just 2 weeks, something hundreds of experts had failed to do over a century. He said it was written in a lost dialect of medieval Romance language. He said the illustrations depicted medicinal plants and gynecological practices. He said the mystery was solved. The academic community reviewed his work and rejected it almost unanimously. His university eventually distanced itself from the paper. The manuscript remained unread. There is something quietly maddening about that. The idea that somewhere in those 240 pages, in those careful, deliberate alien characters, there is meaning. There is a message. Someone wrote it because they had something to say. And after 600 years, we still don't know what it was. What do you think it contains? Leave your theory in the comments. I read every one. Lore and shadow. The lore runs deep.